Hello. Today I'm reading, I think it's the 7th instalment of Horse Crazy. We're on to the second story, which is The Circus Pony. This book is written by me and illustrated by Roland Harvey. And I think yesterday we got up to the part where the girls had asked Michael if they could use Tricky for the talent quest, and he'd said, sure, but I'm going to beat you anyway. So this chapter is called Learning the Craft. Tricky's back is nearly as flat as Pedro's, Bond said as they double-dinked along Currawong Creek looking for a sandy flat to practice on. Sam couldn't forget Michael's smirk when they told him of their plan. I hope he doesn't buck you off. But Tricky was perfect. With Bonnie on his back, he trotted in a circle, keeping an even rhythm and avoiding any small dips in the sand. It's as though he wants to make it easy for you, Sam called from the centre of the circle. That's what it feels like. Bonnie balanced carefully, arms held wide, and smiled into the evening sun. He's loving it. After a little while, Sam unclipped the long rein from Tricky's headstall and let the pony trot freely. He continued his perfect circles. Bonnie began to experiment, first bending backwards until her hands were resting on Tricky's rump, then kicking up to hold a handstand for a few seconds, then somersaulting onto the ground behind him. Woo-hoo! Sam ran over to help her friend up. You're a natural, Bon. And here you can see Roland's lovely drawings of her doing all the tricks on Tricky. Every afternoon after school, Bonnie and Sam took Tricky down to Currawong Creek and practiced their trick riding. Bonnie was the star now and she loved it. Usually Sam was the best at riding. Bonnie quickly learned how to use the pony's rhythm to vault on and off his back while he trotted, and she could catch a beach ball Sam threw to her at the same time. She taught Sam how to swing up too. They developed that into an act where Bonnie climbed onto Sam's shoulders and stood, arms outstretched, as Tricky cantered around and around. By Friday afternoon, they had perfected enough tricks for a 10-minute performance. They had paid the $15 fee and filled in the entry form. They were ready for Saturday night. Sam sat on a log and watched Bonnie stand on her hands as Tricky trotted past the creek. Evening shadows made stripes across the clearing, flashing light and dark across Tricky's back. Pans ran behind him, yipping in time to his trot. We're going to win this, Sam thought, imagining herself dressed in the ringmaster costume from the dress-up box and Bonnie in her tutu. Perhaps Pants could be part of the show too, with a ruffle around her collar. So there's some more drawings of them doing their tricks. This chapter's called Broken Dreams. Sam broke out of her daydream when Michael Milton plonked down beside her. Great stuff, really impressive. Sam could hardly believe her ears. Thanks, Michael, he's an excellent pony. Yes, it's a pity you've gone to all this trouble for nothing. Michael smirked his nastiest grin, yawned extravagantly and stretched his legs. Such a shame they're not allowing any animal acts this year, no exceptions. After the poo problem last year, the hall committee made it a condition. But we can do it outside, Sam stammered, and they've taken our entry money. No, said Michael, they won't let you perform. I heard Mother talking about it on the phone. He stood up and yawned again. Anyway, I better go and practice my violin. She'll kill me if I don't win again. As he scuttled away through the shadows, Sam looked across at her clever friend balancing on Tricky like a bird. He knew all along, she thought. The stinker knew they wouldn't be allowed to perform. That's why he'd been smirking when he said they could use Tricky. Bonnie, she shouted, stop, I've got to tell you something. It was true. When the girls asked Stumpy Shelton, captain of the fire brigade, he said Michael was right and gave them their money back. I'm sorry, girls, but it's the insurance, the ruddy insurance. Sam could feel tears welling up in her eyes. Bonnie looked as though she might start howling too, so Sam put her arm around her. Thanks anyway, Mr. Shelton, she mumbled. I know it's not your fault. Bonnie's mum was always willing to fight stupid official decisions, but even she could see that arguing wouldn't do any good this time. Let's boycott the talent night, she suggested. If they won't let my girls perform, I don't want to go. Thanks, Mum, said Bonnie, but I don't want to be a bad sport. And it was really funny last year, wasn't it, Sam, even if Michael was a pain? Here's an idea, said Wu. Let's go to the talent show tomorrow, then on Sunday evening we can have a picnic down on the creek with a special performance of your act. just for our families. Bonnie jumped up with a whoop. Good on you, Mum, that would be fantastic. Sam didn't feel sad anymore. Come on, Bon, let's get our costumes organised. As long as they could perform for the people who loved them, that was all that mattered. Oh, hang on, I forgot to show you that picture. There's Stumpy Shelton apologising for them not being able to be in it. And this chapter is called Top Talent. Everybody at the talent night had heard about Bonnie and Sam's disappointment. The girls lost count of how many people wished them well. It's like we're heroes or something, Sam murmured to Bonnie. That's because we came, said Bon. If we'd stayed away, we'd have looked like sooks. Michael played his violin perfectly, and for a while it looked as though he would win. It wouldn't be fair if he had 2 video cameras, Bon whispered, and Sam felt a nasty stab of jealousy. But the last act of the night stole the show. Shy Mr. Briggs the butcher and his little girl Tamsin sang You Are My Sunshine together, dancing and holding up cardboard shapes of sunshine, clouds and rain. They were so sweet that the applause lasted nearly 5 minutes, making them clear winners. The Morgan family came second with their version of Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music. Mrs. Morgan had sewn costumes for them out of a curtain material, and the audience clapped for her hard work as much as her family's terrible singing. Michael came third and he wasn't happy. What good is free photo processing when I haven't got a camera? Bonnie overheard him grumbling. You'll have to buy me one, Mother. So here's Mr. Briggs and his little girl singing You Are My Sunshine. Might have time for one more chapter. It's called The Circus Comes to Town. Thunderclouds rolled in on Sunday, so the picnic and trick riding show had to be postponed until the next weekend. By Monday, the sun was out again and the whole town looked washed clean. When Bonnie and Sam checked the horses as usual on their way home from school, they heard a loud hammering coming from the footy ground. An enormous tent was going up. It's the circus. I'd forgotten all about it. Bonnie pulled Sam's arm and started running. Let's check it out. Caravans and trucks were parked around the edge of the oval, with a big tent in the middle. The girls squeezed between 2 vans and stared at the busy scene. There was so much going on that nobody noticed them. People were hammering in huge tent pegs, putting up temporary yards, attaching annexes to caravans. Everyone was running. Bonnie read aloud some of the advertising painted on the vans. Old MacDonald's Clever Cows, the Flying Pans, Cisco the Clown, Samson, the biggest horse in Australia, Dr. Dog and his tail workers, Bomberino the fire eater, Miguel's performing horses, and La Belladonna the trick rider. Bon gave a little squeal. It's going to be fantastic. Let's go and find the horses. And there's some drawings of all the circus cars and caravans. Oh, I think I actually better... Oh, hang on, let me see. Yeah, too much to go. I'll have to stop here, I think. So we're up to the start. Next time we'll start at circus horses with that very grumpy looking man. So thank you for listening again. Bye-bye.